All I ever wanted was a world without maps. Sri Lanka, a small island just off the southern coast of India, boasting a medley of monikers: the teardrop of the Indian subcontinent, the pearl of the Indian Ocean, the Emerald Isle. The British called it Ceylon back in the day, following in the footsteps of the Portuguese and the Dutch who had their colonial heyday there. This place is a vibrant tapestry of diverse ethnic groups and religious traditions. The flag eloquently represents its diversity: yellow for the Sinhalese majority, orange for Muslims, green for Hindus. The lion embodies humanity, while the 4 bow leaves signify Buddhism. Sri Lanka is a true melting pot of people. Despite the flag's message of cohesion, it hasn't always been all sunshine and coconuts in this little paradise. In the post-colonial era, Sri Lanka grappled with a brutal civil war, a devastating tsunami that wreaked havoc on both people's lives and the island's ecosystems, and more recently, an economic freefall that spiraled into unprecedented political chaos. You've seen the videos, right? Angry protesters charging the president's mansion, shouting their lungs out about corruption. A striking testament to the power of the people, their relentless fight for justice, and their disdain for those who misuse power for personal gain rather than the common good. Even during my visit, the country was still trying to get back on its feet, awaiting the second installment of aid promised by the International Monetary Fund. It's been roughly a year and a half since that footage aired, and over 8 years since my last trip to the island. It's clear that, in that time, a lot has changed. Unlike my usual vlogs, this isn't just about me. It's the experience of my parents journeying back to where they grew up, the family members they left behind, and a troublemaking cat named Cuckoo who certainly lives up to his name. It's 5 a.m. on day 0, and we're on our way to the airport. It'll be a 20-hour flight with a stop in Doha. The food is what I imagine a Middle Eastern Stouffer's is: cozy and filling, but the seasoned rice far too seasoned, the meat soft and rubbery, and the vegetables doused in lemon juice to mask the stale smell. A salty, soury, chewy mush called dinner. I have a red wine to put me to sleep, and when I wake up, we're here. The gray New York skyscrapers are replaced by green. Lots of green. The traffic here is something out of a horror movie. We get home and have dinner with the family, and as I'm getting settled into the home where my mother grew up, I feel an intense disconnect from it all. I want to go back to Brooklyn immediately. So I'm in Sri Lanka. This is a mosquito net. Chilling in my family house, and it's been difficult. Like last night I got really emotional because I felt really overwhelmed by how many extended family members I have here, and just like working through the cultural differences and trying to feel understood in a space that doesn't feel like home to me is like a constant effort to just like work through, but I'm excited to see how it shapes throughout this next week. So yeah. I sum up my bad mood to the segmented sleep, and in the morning it's time for breakfast. I have an avocado that my uncle picks from the backyard. Bigger than I thought. While that gets cut, I get a glimpse into the clay oven used for cooking certain dishes. Not like my electric stove I have at home. No toaster, no plug-and-play electric kettle, no microwave. I'm sure the carcinogen-conscious, overly organic mommy blogs would have a field day with this lifestyle. I see a small snowball-like movement in the corner of my eye. It's a small white kitten with pinstripe big ears. Cuckoo introduces himself that morning, and we exchange a few meows before I have to head out to see some family. It's monsoon season right now, and our plans are subject to the capricious weather. A few streets are flooded, and our driver tells us that kimbulas, or crocodiles, inhabit the water when the levels get high enough. I watch my parents' faces light up as they reunite with the land. A sense of familiarity, like they never left, and simultaneously a surprise, like they never set foot here. Today, we're taking full advantage of the dollar to rupee rate and going shopping. I have a feeling it's gonna be a really good day. Well, until I get a bad haircut. For reference, I said 1 inch and he took off 5. I walked out crying and threw a tantrum. It was only a matter of time before my American arrogance would make an appearance. I hate short hair. Cuckoo senses I'm upset and introduces me to his big sister, Bunty, who is a dog. We get along fairly well, a little too well. Cuckoo and Bunty don't want me to leave, and I'm slowly feeling the same. The next morning, I hear a meow outside the door. Cuckoo's in the rain and asks me to let him in. I do, and he sleeps snug as a bug on the chair. I tell him I'd love to chat, but I have an agenda. That morning, we're going to a local Buddhist temple to give a dane, or an almsgiving, to a school of monks to honor my late grandmother. A few of us swoon at how cute the younger monks are. We begin with a meditative prayer, and then distribute the food my aunts cooked. The monks raise their palms slightly in the air if they don't want any food. Monks are not to be slaves to their desires, even if that desire is an extra serving of sambal. Only take what is needed and nothing more. That evening, we take a trip to Kotahena, the province where my father is from, to see my grandmother. It's my first time seeing the city streets at night. The darkness brings out the beggars who breathe into the window during heavy traffic. It's hard not to look. Pereira and Sons is a popular chain here for short eats, like rolls and sandwiches and desserts. We love their chocolate roll cakes, but not so much the eclair. As a Pereira myself, I have to endorse it. Outside the sweet store are more beggars, a bittersweet reminder of our own privilege. Cuckoo and Bunty stay up late and we chat. They're feeling real affectionate tonight. Jealousy over attention boils into a tense display of sibling rivalry. Bunty aggressively pursues Cuckoo, who taunts him just out of reach. Cuckoo wakes me up the next day as I'm headed to Colombo, the capital. There's some cool sights in this city. That's the Lotus Tower, a cool temple, a horse made up of old car parts, an eagle made up of spark plugs, murals painted by school children, slums, motorcycles, thieves and robbers, and so much more. Then it's time for lunch. In typical Sri Lankan fashion, my overly hospitable aunt puts a little bit of everything in this home-cooked meal. Sometimes, if you're lucky, instead of a plate, you get a leaf, a banana leaf. And when you're eating with your hands, everything is finger-looking good. I even try a new drink. This is the applewood juice, and it has almost a fermented smell to it. And a sweet taste, and almost like an exfoliator texture. It's fun. I like it. It's good. I go for a walk, excited to return back and tell Cuckoo of my adventures around the mango tree, but he doesn't wish to be bothered right now. Then we went to Kelaniya Temple and uncovered a marvelous sight. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the sky was rubricated with vibrant hues of crimson and scarlet, casting a fiery glow across the landscape. When the sun finally faded out of sight, only the candles remained, the flames burning deeply into the untrained eyes of a tourist. The art, statues, and rock murals lining the walls captivate me in a spiritual trance, but one glance at the Bodhi tree at the center of it all brings me back to reality. The strong roots pushing out of the soil, all interconnected, nourished from the water visitors line up to pour. Buddhism is the biggest belief system in Sri Lanka, and people come far and wide for the immersive experience into the philosophy. It's hard to go far in Sri Lanka without seeing a Buddha statue. There are a lot. Like, a lot. A few more days of three-wheeling around Colombo pass by. The next day, we head off in the morning on a road trip. Cuckoo meows goodbye as we shuffle into our van, headed now to Trincomalee. Luscious trees, paddy fields, and marvelous mountains line the roads, sights my eyes have never seen. After we pull over at a rest stop, I feel fixated on a man cutting coconuts off a tree on the side of the road. He's shirtless, outside, laboring through the day's dry heat. I think of the coconut water I buy from the deli. Is this where it comes from? The thoughts of our differences are abruptly abandoned when I hear small monkeys shuffle through the trees. I contemplate how different all our lives are. The coconut man, the monkeys, and me, all breathing the same air. We stumble upon a beautiful lake and make a stop to take in the view. The crystal water reflects the sunshine in every angle, illuminating our eyes with the cascading light. Afterwards, we head to Marble Beach. The water is as blue as the Ceylon sapphires worn by royalty. Placid, serene, ineffable. Gotta snap a pic for the gram. I take refuge from the heat with an ice cream that oddly matches my nail color. Behind me are a number of cows, and I feel somewhat obligated to say thank you. Eating my food at ice cream with the cows. Living the simple life. Meow, moo. Green fields, blue skies, cows, beaches, cows on beaches. Storm clouds clutter in the sky, squish next to one another. They begin to cry in unison, and we wave goodbye to our short-lived time on the beach. All sights so far pale in comparison to the infamous Trinco sunset, one that shines as brightly as the sun, said to be the most beautiful sunset in the entire country. A new day begins and we're back outside. The clear skies illuminate the water. We make our way to a Hindu temple that is also home to several animal friends. Sri Lanka, despite its relatively small land area, boasts an astonishing biodiversity, with approximately 7% of all known species in the world. The island nation's rich ecosystems include a diverse range of flora and fauna, making it a biodiversity hotspot. Certain species are hard to spot unless you're really looking. Let's try and find some. If you're seeing something moving in the bushes, you're right. That right there is a cute family of deer. Now this one I really had to zoom in on and keep my eye moving quick because they are some fast little monkeys. And this one right here can't help but attract all the attention. Some other species, however, are hard to miss for reasons beyond their colorful exterior. We arrived at Pinnawilla Elephant Orphanage, established in 1975 by the Sri Lanka Department of Wildlife Conservation to care for and rehabilitate orphaned elephants. The orphanage is home to a significant number of elephants, including both adult and baby elephants. Visitors to Pinnawilla have the opportunity to witness the elephants bathing in the nearby river, a spectacular and iconic sight. The orphanage also plays a crucial role in the conservation and breeding of elephants, contributing to the efforts to protect and preserve the endangered Sri Lankan elephant species. Elephants are an emblem in Sri Lanka, and also, they're super cute. Once we return from our road trip and are back in our neck of the woods, it's vacation mode for a bit. Sitting in the sun, swimming next to the marvel that is the Indian Ocean, and eating food as organic as can be. A glorious trip and one for the vlogs. This is the well of my family. We are in our last couple of days in Sri Lanka, and I'm gonna go hang out with some of my family members for the remainder, and then tomorrow I will be going to see the Sri Lankan orchestra play at the Lionel Ment Theater. One of the people in the orchestra, it was actually my former choir teacher at college in Boston, so it's just a really fun full circle and cool connection, so excited! As I fly between the two worlds I belong to, America and Sri Lanka, I recognize how I feel simultaneously connected and disconnected from both. Like an outsider looking in, but also not belonging to the outside I claim as mine. Like a glitch in the system, I'm exiled to a land of my own. A newfound space I get to curate, emboldened with the vision of the two cultures I exchange furtive glances with. Two radioactive chemicals I mix together to form a solution. I shake, but one is insoluble in the other, like oil and water. And once the dust settles and the illusion of blendedness fades, it's clear where the separation lies.